Therefore, bowing down and prostrating my body before you, adorable Lord, I seek your grace. You, O God, should bear with me as a father to his son, as a friend to his friend, and as a lover to his beloved. Arjun uses the word dasmat before therefore, and this shows the connection from the last few verses. Arjun has said that the Lord is great, and that the Lord is of endless strength. Not only that, but the Supreme Soul is full of compassion. Arjun is saying that because of these reasons. Arjun is bowing down and prostrating his entire body before the feet of the Supreme Soul. This is what Arjun says. Arjun is causing the Supreme Soul idyam, meaning one who has the right to people chanting stuti, hymns of praise of him, one who is worth worshipping and one who is worth praising. Arjun makes a request for the Supreme Soul to have grace for Arjun. Arjun calls Shri Krishna Dev, meaning God, and asks the Supreme Soul to bear with him in 3 types of relationships. The first is as a father forgives his son, the second as a friend forgives the faults of his friend, and the third is a husband forgives the faults of his wife. In the same way, Arjun says that the Lord has the ability to bear on Arjun's mistakes. The Lord has been saying that he has been bearing his mistakes. In the 41st and 42nd verses, Arjun has said 3 things. Arjun said that he made fun of the Lord because of his negligence, second, while playing, and thirdly, out of love. These 3 things are such that you cannot show respect to a person while they happen. When negligence comes, then you cannot show respect. This is the case in all of these 3 things. While playing, one cannot show respect to a person, and you can say what you should not say. Thirdly, even in love, this can also happen. Arjun has placed 3 relationships for these 3 things in the 44th verse. First of all, with negligence, Arjun says that he may have said whatever you thought of his pramad, negligence. For this, Arjun placed the relationship of a father and son. This is the relationship of the father and son. In this relationship, pramad, negligence, can take place. What is pramad, negligence? I always say that we should always remember Duryodhana's word for pramad. Janami dharmam nachme pruvati, janami adharma nachme nivruti, kena viparna dishtane, which means, I know what righteousness is, and I know which I ought to do, but I do not do this. I know what unrighteousness is, but I do not stop myself from doing this. This is the very meaning of pramad, negligence. One knows what is right and yet still does not do it, and one knows what is wrong and still does not refrain oneself from doing it. This is the name of pramad, negligence. In the majority of father and son relationships, this does happen. What the father is saying is right, and the son knows that the father is right and is looking out for what is good for him. I always say that there may be a problem in the means elders are using to say something, but there can be no doubt about what they are saying. What they are saying is right. One may not like the way of saying it, but this can happen because of the generation gap. Children can get hurt and can become sensitive. All of this happens, and this is possible. But can there be anything wrong with what they are saying? Of all the problems of the generation gap, 90% of these problems are because of the means that they are used to saying is wrong. This is why the son does not do it. This is the very name of Brahma, negligence. The son knows what his father is saying is right, and yet the son does not do it. And the son knows what he is doing is wrong, and yet he does not refrain from doing it. This is what Brahma, negligence is. This can also happen in the relationship between the father and the son. That is why Arjun asked the Lord to bear his mistakes like a father does to his son. Arjun says, Lord, you are the father and I am like your son. Just like a father tolerates the mistakes of his son, in the same way you should bear with me. The second was avastham, while at play. While at play, maybe one does not show respect to the others. For this, Arjun gave the example of a friend to a friend. 2 friends make fun of each other, and many times respect is not shown to each other. Arjun asked the Lord forgiveness for this. Third is pranaya, out of love. For this, Arjun gives the relationship of a lover and his beloved. Just like a husband tolerates the mistakes of his wife, And just like a wife tolerates the mistakes of her husband, Arjun asks the Supreme Soul to tolerate his mistakes. Arjun says that the Supreme Soul has the ability to tolerate his mistakes and asks the Supreme Soul to forgive him in any relationship possible. Let's move on to verse 45.